Thank you, Max and Hartmut, for your experience and sharing your insights with us. We know how important cloud is, but really uniting data sovereignty and technology sovereignty is an important and critical task around which we all benefit from our shared experiences and learning. However, solving data sovereignty is just one piece of the puzzle that needs to be solved on our journey to business transformation. Next up, we're going to be looking at cloud migration. Now, T-Systems has mined over a decade of experience in complex infrastructure migration and put that into our new cloud migration framework, our CMF offering. This tailored and module-based solution enables vendor-agnostic public cloud migration aligned with all the major hyperscaler partners. So Jonas Niessen is here to tell us what's been going on with CMF, how to manage a secure, tailored, and proven journey to the public cloud that streamlines IT landscapes for effective digital transformation, and of course, our theme, business innovation. Jonas is the Director of Cloud Adoption Services at T-Systems, and he knows how important cloud migration is to enable innovation and really accelerate the impact of digitization for our customers. Welcome, Jonas.
Thanks a lot, Catherine, and thanks a lot for hosting this great event. I have to say, I love the mission statement of this year's Telecom Tech Grounds and that it focuses on human-centered technology. It's such an important topic which we do not talk enough about. Welcome, everybody. My name is Jonas. I work for the cloud practice of T-Systems, and I help organizations to adopt cloud and accelerate their cloud transformation journey. And as you might know, in February, we as T-Systems announced our cloud-first strategy. And that really means that we lead with cloud going forward while our customers still benefit from the breadth of portfolio and experience that we as a company can offer. And then at the same time, we launched our cloud migration framework. So in the last 4 months, a lot of things happened, and I wanted to use this opportunity to give you a short update and also have a focus on the human factor of cloud adoption. So let's do a short recap. And in February, I used the Rubik's Cube analogy for cloud adoption. And I talked about that there are 43 million times a trillion possibilities to scramble such a Rubik's Cube. And yet there are people in the world who can solve such a puzzle in a matter of seconds. I have to say I practiced a lot in the last 4 months. Still takes me minutes to solve the Rubik's Cube. But in order to master this puzzle that quickly, you need essentially 3 things. Firstly, you need to understand the objectives and the principles behind the puzzle. Secondly, you need to have a strategy how to solve the problem. And lastly, you need to have a lot of practice and experience. And I can tell you, in order to solve it in seconds, you really need to practice a lot. And what we see in the market at the moment with our customers is really that they still share one priority, and that is to digitalize their business and adopt cloud at scale in order to accelerate this digitalization. And when I speak to customers, they are obviously at very different stages of their cloud journey. Obviously, all these organizations have very different challenges and priorities, but whilst this is the case, in essence, enterprises and organizations try to achieve 4 objectives when adopting cloud. Firstly, organizations want to increase operational efficiency. That means really reducing cost, reducing their IT spend, getting rid of technical debt. Secondly, organizations are looking into improving operational excellence, and that means increasing quality of the IT, but also increasing quality of their products. Obviously, many of these are digital these days. And then, especially when it comes to more mature organizations, they are looking at increasing agility. So becoming faster, reacting quicker to business requirements, reacting quicker to market changes and their competition. And then lastly, organizations need to adopt cloud in order to drive innovation, in order to implement a culture of experimentation, which works so well with cloud, where you can use global services in a matter of minutes, where you have pay-as-you-go pricing models, and you can decommission services when experiments end or fail. So there's almost no risk to experimentation. And that really allows organizations to develop new products or even new business models faster, and do so by learning directly from their customers. So here's how we break down your cloud adoption journey whilst ensuring it's tailored to your business strategy. With our cloud migration framework, we center everything around your strategy and your objectives. So before we have not clearly understood or defined these goals, we don't even get started. And then as a second step, once this cloud strategy, which is tightly coupled and aligned to your IT and your business strategy, once this is clearly defined and understood as a second step, we then assess your organization and your technology cloud readiness. So we run structured workshops with your organizations, and we run highly automated analysis of your infrastructure and application landscapes. And once we've understood both your goals, so where you want to go, and your current state from an organizational and from a technology perspective, we then create cloud readiness, again, from a technology and from an organizational perspective. So we ensure that you're ready to run applications in the cloud, from security, people, to finance and technology. And from there, we build out cloud migration and modernization teams. That means we enrich your teams with cloud engineering expertise to migrate to the cloud at scale and at speed, or we bring in our application expertise in order to modernize some of your applications. So we really help you across the board, from rehosting, replatforming, and refactoring some of your applications and workloads. And all of this is underpinned by our cloud governance and operations offering, and our understanding that cloud transformation do not have an endpoint, but really requires continuous modernization and optimization. Because one of the reasons why you adopt cloud is that you want to tap into the innovation power of the Microsofts and Googles and AWSs of this world, who release new services and innovations almost on a daily basis. So you really need to constantly have a look which of these innovations can you use in order to gain a competitive advantage in your business and in your industry. And going back to the Rubik's Cube analogy, so essentially we help you to define and prioritize your cloud objective and the principles behind cloud. We define a cloud adoption roadmap and migration plan for you to transform your IT and your organization faster. We enrich your teams with our expertise, our methodologies, tools, and best practices, so you can really focus on building a future-proof, highly adaptable organization by implementing your digital strategy and gain a competitive advantage. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I would like to focus a bit on the human aspect of cloud adoption, because we don't speak often enough about that. And for me, the fundamental underlying concept here is psychological safety. So the definition for that is that team members need to feel safe to take risks and to be vulnerable in front of each other. So psychological safety refers to one's perception of the consequences of taking a risk. Or in other words, in a team with high psychological safety, teammates feel safe to take risks around their team members. They feel confident that no one on the team will embarrass or punish anyone else for admitting, for example, a mistake, for asking a question, or for offering new ideas. And that sounds simple enough, right? But I can assure you it's really, really not. In fact, most transformations fail or get stuck or slow down because of organizational issues and not because of technology. Especially when we talk about agility and innovation, and you remember we talked about these 4 main objectives that organizations want to achieve when adopting cloud. So operational excellence and operational efficiency on the one hand side, but then also especially for more mature organizations focusing on agility and innovation, we really need modern target operations models. We need experimentation to innovate, as I mentioned. We need fail-fast cultures, and we need speed and agility within our organization. And all of these require fully empowered, skilled, diverse digital product teams which embrace a DevOps mindset. So your teams can only become your engine room of innovation and drive your digital transformation if they have psychological safety. Now, we as T-Systems are not an HR transformation company, but we do ensure that people and organizational perspectives are reflected in every step of your cloud adoption journey. And that particularly applies in the modules which I have highlighted in blue on this slide. So during the cloud strategy definition, we look at multiple cloud adoption perspectives. We look at cloud maturity across business, people, governance, platform, security, and operations. And based on this, we build cloud roadmaps to ensure our customers have a strong focus on culture and build these aspects into their global change programs. When we support our customers to build out their cloud center of excellence, this is really mostly about bringing different, often siloed teams together and helping to build a nucleus for cultural change and a product-centric organization. And lastly, our cloud target operations models, for example, when we help customers to implement site reliability engineering models, we really help enterprises to structure their teams around customer outcomes. So in literally every cloud migration project which we're currently engaged in, we also focus on at least one of these initiatives, and this is across multiple industries. Since we introduced the cloud migration framework in February, we have been using it to help our customers really to be more innovative in their sectors and their industries. We have helped customers to migrate to AWS and Azure at scale. We help them to modernize their application landscapes, and we help them to adopt an agile organizational mindset. And what's really great about this framework is that we continue to build every learning into the framework. So we really constantly evolve and learn ourselves and thereby help our customers in turn again. And we include more and more repeatable patterns and use cases into the framework. So that includes, on the one hand side, technology use cases. For example, we currently see a lot of demand from customers to modernize their Oracle databases in the cloud. We have customers asking us to help them to modernize their monolith Java applications, and we really build that into patterns. So again, that customers can accelerate this transformation. And on the other side, we also build out industry use cases to better help customers gain a competitive advantage with cloud in their specific industry. So let me close with a short summary and some key recommendations for your cloud transformation. So firstly, understand cloud adoption as a global change program in your organization. Technology is really only one aspect, and it's rarely the biggest blocker to cloud transformation. Secondly, start small and accelerate fast. So I'm very aware that the ripple effects of cloud adoption can be very, very daunting, but starting small, even if you're a big enterprise, really makes it a lot easier to scale. Thirdly, involve your HR teams from the very beginning and measure psychological safety. There are great tools and studies out there, for example, from Google's Aristotle project, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of material out there which you can reuse. And then lastly, make use of frameworks. So it doesn't matter, the cloud adoption frameworks from Microsoft, from AWS, from Google, and T-Systems' very own cloud migration framework are all based on a lot of experience and best practices and really help you with a structured approach to your cloud adoption journey. And with that, I would like to thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, get in touch, link into me, send me an email, and I would like to hand back to Catherine. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jonas. It's so important that we understand the power of a customized cloud journey to accelerate business innovation. Back to this thing. Well, back in 1980, when this Rubik's Cube was launched globally, automobiles were just a way to go from point A to point B. They couldn't update themselves, they weren't a center for mobility, they couldn't call a tow truck or other services proactively. Today, there are 4 billion internet-connected smartphones, and the number of connected devices is expected to reach 46 billion this year. All these connected devices communicate with each other, or should communicate with each other, with users, and of course with the cloud. Real-time applications like self-driving robots, transporting components from one station to another, machines reporting the deterioration of a component before they break down in production, service technicians in the intelligent factory identifying defective parts before they cause a problem using augmented reality. And in addition, beyond factories, the abundance of sensors everywhere provides us with large amounts of data. And at the same time that all this data is occurring, the ubiquity of computing power enables us to put artificial intelligence to work practically anywhere. We know connectivity changes business models and customer experiences. The vast amount of data in a location, let's call that a city, or a facility, let's call that a production site, can be effectively managed, secured, and analyzed at scale with edge computing, creating a new lens, new insight, and new automation. Now, what do smart cities and smart factories have in common? Well, they both benefit from 5G connectivity for secure and low latency communication. And for both of them, the ongoing trend toward edge computing leverages new opportunities with local processing power and bandwidth, bringing the power of all this data to where it has the most value. In this next session, we'll be diving deeper into the context spanned by these topics, giving concrete examples from the field of computer vision, applied in both cities and factories. And after a short presentation, we'll have a panel discussion with Anthony Hill from NVIDIA, he's the EMEA Telco Sales Leader, and Dominic Seedhoff, who's the data scientist and lead for machine learning at T-Systems. The moderator will be Renee Fahn, who leads AI and machine learning at T-Systems. Welcome to all.